The bell above the door of the Greasy Spoon Diner gave its usual cheerful chime, but the sound vanished beneath the thunder of motorcycle engines outside. Every customer looked up at once. Forks paused halfway to mouths. Conversations died in nervous little pieces. Chloe didn't bother turning around. She already knew who it was. The Viper MC. 6 bikers stepped through the door in worn leather vests stained with dust and road grime. Heavy boots struck the tiled floor with slow confidence. The kind of confidence that came from men who never had to demand respect because fear handed it to them automatically. At the front walked Grizz. Huge shoulders, salt and pepper beard, hands like sledgehammers. His face looked carved from old stone, but his eyes missed nothing. He gave Chloe a small nod. "Afternoon. Usual booth?" Chloe asked. Grizz grunted once. The bikers slid into the large corner booth. Vinyl creaked under their weight. Chloe grabbed coffee mugs automatically. She'd served them enough times to know their orders by heart. Black coffee, cheeseburgers, no onions, extra fries. Despite their reputation, they were never rude, never loud inside the diner. Still, whenever they entered, tension wrapped around the room like wire. But today, something else filled the air. Fear. At the booth near the window, old Mrs. Era slowly stood from her seat. Chloe's stomach tightened instantly. Era was 86 years old and came to the diner every single day at noon for tea and lemon cake. Usually she smiled at everyone. Usually she talked about her garden. Not anymore. Lately she looked exhausted, nervous, like someone waiting for terrible news. And now her hands trembled so badly she nearly dropped her purse as she walked toward the bikers. The entire diner went silent. Era stopped beside Grizz's table. The bikers looked up carefully. Grizz leaned back slightly, studying her face. "Yes, ma'am?" Era swallowed hard. Her voice barely rose above a whisper. "I need help." Nobody moved. "My nephew is coming here soon," she continued shakily. "He's bringing papers for me to sign." Her fingers tightened around her purse. "I don't want to sign them." A flicker crossed Grizz's eyes. Era took a breath that sounded painful. "He says it's for my own good, but—" Her voice cracked. "I'm afraid of him." Chloe froze behind the counter. Finally, the old woman asked the question. "Could one of you pretend to be my son today?" Silence crashed across the diner. One biker nearly laughed before catching Grizz's warning glance. The old woman looked so small standing there, so ashamed for even asking. Chloe knew why, because she'd overheard everything. For weeks, Era's nephew Mark had been bringing legal documents into the diner. Expensive watches, perfect suits, smiles colder than winter glass. Chloe had heard enough while refilling coffee. Power of attorney, cognitive decline, doctor's evaluation, sell the house. They weren't helping Era. They were stealing her life one signature at a time. Grizz stared at the old woman for several long seconds. Then Chloe made a decision. She walked over with the coffee pot, pretending to refill mugs. "She's telling the truth," Chloe whispered quietly while pouring. "Her nephew wants her declared mentally incompetent. He's trying to take her house." Grizz's expression changed instantly. Not anger, something colder. Purpose. He looked back at Era. Then he patted the seat beside him. "Sit down, Ma." The old woman blinked. "What?" Grizz shrugged. What kind of son lets his mother stand around alone? Era nearly collapsed with relief. One biker gently helped her into the booth while Grizz wrapped a massive arm around her shoulders like it was the most natural thing in the world. "What's your favorite milkshake?" he asked. "Tea, strawberry." Grizz nodded toward Chloe. "You heard my mother. 6 strawberry shakes." The diner slowly began breathing again, and suddenly the bikers transformed. They argued over who visited Mom the most, complained about fake traffic tickets, asked if she was eating enough, built an entire fake family around her in less than 10 minutes. Era slowly started smiling, actually smiling. Then the diner bell rang again. Mark arrived, tall, perfect haircut, expensive tie. Beside him walked Susan, his sharp-faced wife carrying a leather folder. They stopped dead when they saw the bikers surrounding Era. Mark's smile vanished instantly. "Aunt Era," he said carefully. "What's going on here?" Grizz slurped loudly from his milkshake before answering. "Family lunch." Mark's eyes narrowed. "And you are?" Grizz extended one huge hand across the table. "Jake, her son." The silence afterward felt dangerous. Mark laughed nervously. "She doesn't have a son." Grizz's smile disappeared. "That's a pretty rude thing to say about somebody's mother." The other bikers slowly looked up from their M.